So transforming your energies is a more sure path. What kind of accumulation you have, that's how it functions. When the spinal thread is touched, a light begins to glow in and around you. When I am around, this is very easy to do. When you look at your life, the way you live it, many times you would have noticed that you are ruled by compulsive emotions. Today you really want to be peaceful. Today it happens to be your wife's birthday, your husband's something. You really want to make sure nothing goes wrong. That's the day just the anger rules you. Just comes out for no reason. So, these things people try to control for their whole lifetimes and nothing changes. The mechanics of the mind, the way the mind functions, is just the way the karmic substance is. Because mind is just an accumulation. What kind of accumulation you have, that's how it functions. If one has to go beyond the limitations or beyond the compulsiveness that a certain type of accumulation creates within us, either one has to raise into a different level of awareness, consciousness, with which he can become free, or another way is he has to transform his energies. Raising to higher levels of consciousness generally is very deceptive. Everybody believes they're very high consciousness. If you put them to test, and then fail miserably, because the nature of the mind is such, it can deceive you till the end. People believe they have changed many times, simply because their situations have become a little more conducive. They have changed. If situations become extreme, again they're back to the same place. Yes, have you noticed this again and again? So transforming your energies is a more sure path, a more certain path. You're walking on solid ground. And all you need is a certain dedication and involvement in a certain practice. If one works sufficiently upon his energies, the right sense of understanding and guidance, if it is done, very easily one can get enlightened on the level of his energy. His energy will be enlightened. His consciousness might not have gone beyond, but his energies will be enlightened. Shiva also has spoken about it. Shiva says, when the spinal thread is touched, a light begins to glow in and around you. If you place the whole attention on the Sushumna Nadi, and if it is properly touched, then it becomes alive and it glows. Once it glows, slowly the energy will mature within a very short period of time, and energy will become enlightened. It glows. You have a glow of an enlightened being, but you don't have the consciousness of an enlightened being. If you stand, if you simply sit quietly, you are a powerful being. It's good to be this way because this is easy to achieve. This is easy to achieve. All you need is dedication, especially when I am around. This is very easy to do. If you just touch the spinal cord, it can just glow.
Now, we may have tried several times mentally to alter some of our simple habits, but we find that within a couple of days we fall back to them. Now, this happens because karma builds itself on three basic fundamental levels, that is, mental fluctuations, chemical reactions, and sensation. It is not easy to come out of the karmic limitations without simultaneously addressing them on the chemical and physiological levels. There are many unnoticeable ways in which karma influences and even distorts the physical body. It is not merely our lifestyle, how we eat and drink. The subtlest aspect of our thought and emotion can also influence the physical. So let's take a small example. When we see somebody, we can easily tell by just watching their face whether they are happy or depressive. And if we become more observant, then simply by the way they sit or stand, we can simply tell that whether the being is disturbed or is very happy. Now this thing, over time, these postures turn habitual and even hardened into vasanas or tendencies. Now it is the nature of our mind that it behaves differently on different days. On one day it is joyful, another day it is depressed, third day it is stressed. In the process, it is not merely distorting the vision of reality, it is distorting our body as well. Think of all the unexpected things that go on from morning to evening in our daily life that is not in our control. Now, if every little psychological event will reshape us, think of what a complete distortion we will become in just a few years. Now, this distortion happens on the energy level and it will also happen in the physiological level. Obviously, it will take some time. We can even watch it in different people. Now, in some people, we might have seen that the left eye is smaller than the right eye. Provided that they are not born this way, this indicates that they have undergone a very depressive time in the last 6 months. Now, why does only left? Because the left side of our body is always associated with the emotional life of human being and the feminine dimension that is symbolized by moon with its cycles of waxing and waning. So depending upon the nature of the karmic memory, certain parts of the body also behave differently. You might have noticed in your own body that when you do your exercise, every muscle is not behaving the same way. Now this is because the karmic inheritance shapes the skeletal system and musculature in every singular ways. Not all the muscles act in similar way. Not only this, modern medicines today are well aware of notions of psychosomatic ailment. This acknowledges the inseparability of the mental and the physical bodies. Now, as we all know that for every sensation, there is a mental fluctuation and a corresponding chemical reaction. That is why yoga works so closely with posture, breath, attitude, and intention. If a certain awareness is brought to these aspects of the self, what is happening in the mind and what is happening in the outside world will not affect the body. Now, when we are psychologically distorted, it is particularly very important to hold our body consciously because our karmic substance is trying to shape our body according to the distortions. This explains why the enormous care brought into the practice of asanas and pranayama. Out of 114 chakras or the energy centers in the human system, the karmic substance concentrates itself around some specific ones. These are related to certain joints and nodes in the body. Chemical deposits build up here over time. Now, Hatha Yoga is a very way of shedding karma with full awareness by moving and stretching the body in various ways. Now, this requires training. However, there is very simple practice that allows you to move from outer to inner, from body to mind, from outermost sensation to the chemical deposits within the body to the mind and in the fixed ways of thinking and acting. And this simple practice is known as Yoga Namaskar and Upayoga, which is offered absolutely for free and is present in Sadhguru app. Now moving forward, Yoga Namaskar is a very simple and complete process by itself that nurtures the physical, psychological and obviously the energy dimensions of human being. This simple act of bringing the two hands together is a way of creating a harmony to the entire system. Yoga Namaskar does involve introducing a major discipline in your life and does not restrict you in terms of time, diet or lifestyle. Whereas on the other hand, Upayoga is a simple yet very powerful set of 10 practices that activates the joints, the muscles and the energy system, bringing ease to the whole system. Based on the sophisticated understanding of the body's mechanics, Upayoga dispels inertia in the body's energy and brings more ease to the entire system. Now within the human system, we all know that there are 72,000 nadis. At the joints, these nadis meet and form nodes, making the joint storehouse of energy. So Upa Yoga activates this energy and also lubricates the joint, creating an instant sense of alertness and liveliness. Now this simple process alone can help release chemical deposits in the body that have built up over time because of many shifts and fluctuations in thought and emotion. This is one way of releasing them and in the process shedding karmic deposit as well. Now in the process, the very way you perceive and experience the world will be altered. So one of the most simplest way to cultivate awareness is to start with physical awareness, because physical body is a constant factor in our life. Now these are simple practices like Yoga Namaskar or Upa Yoga practices. These are simple small practices that are mentioned also in the Karma book of Sadhguru, and these are little small practices that anyone can do at their home free of cost. If you are unable to practice any other Hatha Yoga practice, you can simply do these things. These little things are very potent and they alone is very powerful if you do it consistently. If you do one practice today and again second practice after 6 months, it's of no use. So be consistent with whatever practice you do. So just do it and comment me down in the comment section if anybody has done it or is already doing it, as Yoga Namaskar and Upa Yoga practices are also being taught during our inner engineering course. So just comment me down in the comment section what are the benefits you are experiencing. And for today, winding up, hope you loved the video. And if you loved the video and found it meaningful, do not forget to give it a like, share and subscribe. These are small gestures that really means a lot for us. So up to next, stay safe, healthy, happy and namaskaram.